Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to start with chapter number 2. So before that we must look into the syllabus. So you can see here. So this chapter we have already done. This introduction to political science we have already done. And here we studied about the different political theories like modern political theories as well as traditional views of political science we have studied. So today I'm going to start with fundamental concepts. So here in this chapter we are going to discuss, we are going to focus mostly on state. What is the state and what are the different elements which composes a state, and after understanding state, defining a state, after that we'll try to differentiate between state and society, state and association, state and government. Okay, and the last one will differentiate between state and nation. So these are the topics we are going to discuss today. Okay, so first of all we'll start with state. So you can see here chapter number 2. Okay, that is chapter number 2, fundamental concepts. So within this chapter we are going to discuss mostly about state. So once we understand about the state, so rest of the things we'll easily understand it. Okay. Now see over here, the first sentence, it says state and government are the main object of the study of political science. So as I told you earlier when I started the first chapter, there I explain you what is political science. There I told you that study of a state and government. Political science is the study of a state and government that I discussed in the previous class, and I hope you all have understood that. So mostly political science, the study of political science revolves around the state as well as government. Okay, study of state and government are the basic elements of studying political science. So when we discuss about the scope of political science, there also I discussed that political science, the study of political science will end with the state. When the state ends, when the state comes to an end, at that time political science also will come to an end. So political science begins and ends with the state. Okay, ends with the state. You can see here, this is the initial phases of our discussion, that you can see all political studies, it is mentioned, no, I told you all political studies. Okay, let me highlight it. Okay, all political studies, you can see here, revolves around state and government. All political studies revolves around state and government. So whatever study we do, it revolves around state and government. Okay, now if you come down, each human being is born in a society and he lives his life as a citizen of the state. Human being is born in a society and he lives his life as a citizen of the state. Okay, he lives his life as citizen of the state. He is governed by the government of the state. Okay, he inherits by birth the citizenship of the state. He lives under the rule of the government and carries out its commands, laws, policies, orders, rules, regulations, and decrees. Hence, it is essential for each one of us to study state and understand the differences in state, government, society, and association. It is that we need to understand. So first of all, we need to discuss what actually is state. What is called a state? Suppose if I talk about our 29 states in India, then you may say that West Bengal is also a state, Bihar is also a state. That is true. But if we try to analyze all these territories in terms of political science, then my answer is no, West Bengal is not a state. Okay, West Bengal is not a state. Okay, but if I say Bhutan is a state, Bangladesh is a state, China is a state, India as a whole is a state, then that can be agreed by the political studies. Okay, now let us discuss about what is state. So let me highlight it. What is state? Okay, what is state? So it is mentioned over here in the second paragraph. In ancient Greek, the word polis was used for identifying small city states. You can see here, identifying small city states. Okay, Polis was used for identifying small city states. It was because of this fact that Aristotle gave the title Politics to his book, which discussed the origin, nature, and functions of Greek city states. Okay, but later on the term state came to be universally used. Later on, before he only used it, but later on this term state was used universally for describing every big or small political unit. For every big and small political unit, the term state was universally used. Okay, so now from where where this word derived from? So you can see here the word state has been derived from a Latin word which means, you can see here, Latin word status, which means a particular social position. Status, we discuss, we talk in our society, these people belong to high status, these that we live for status, high dignified people, they have good status. Okay, that means we are talking about social positions. Okay, but in ancient times no differences was made. In the ancient time there was no differences made between state and society. Thus, the term state came to be used for describing the status of a person as citizen before. Okay, but slowly and gradually when the studies regarding the state went on becoming universal, then you can see here the term came to be used for political institutions, organizations. Okay, and those political organizations which exercise supreme power, that is sovereignty. Sovereignty, that is one of the most important element of the state. The state without sovereignty cannot be called as a state. Okay, so now let us define, let us now discuss some of the definitions being given by Aristotle. Okay, Bluntschli is there, Lasky is there, Clippins is there, Garner is there. One of my famous that means famous definition given by Garner, I like it most and I recommend every student to learn it properly. So after going through all this definition, we'll easily understand the elements, which all elements are there within the state which makes it a complete state. So first of all, you can see here, state is an association of families and villages having for its end a happy and prosperous living, a self-sufficient existence. Okay, now state is politically organized people of a definite territory. Okay, now Lasky, according to Lasky, how Lasky defines state? State is a territorial society divided into government and subject claiming within its allotted physical area supremacy over all the institutions. You can see here four things are included over here. Number one, you can see a territory is talked about. Okay, government is there. Okay, territory is there, government is there. Okay, then you can see here subjects, that is population is there. Then next one you can see a supremacy, that is sovereignty. So four elements are included in the definition of Lasky. Okay, now let us move on to the definition given by Garner. So this one you must go through it, if possible learn it by heart. Okay, so state is a community of persons. So what is state? State is a community of persons. How, what type of person, how many persons? So it can be more or less, it can be more or less numerous, it can be numbers can be uncountable. Okay, permanently occupying a definite portion of territory. The people who can be more or less, they occupy a definite portion of territory. Okay, and those territories would be independent or nearly so. Those territories will be independent or nearly so of external control. Okay, that means this community living in a different territory, independent, they can be independent or near to independent, they must be free from external control and possessing an organized government. So what type of government? Organized government. And this government, okay, this government, you can see here, to which great body of we the people, right? People living in a state, they are known as great body of inhabitants, render habitual obedience. The people living in a state, they obey the rules and regulations, the constitutions, the government. Okay, they properly obey it. So Four things are discussed over here. What are the four things? Population is there, okay, territory is there, then government is there, then the last one, sovereignty, is there. Okay, so after going through this definition, we can conclude by saying that state is a politically organized community of people. Okay, it's a number of communities can be there in a state. Okay, which is occupying a definite portion of territory, different, a particular territory. Boundary is there. India's map never changes, it remains intact. That is the boundary, that is the territory. Indian territory remains Indian territory only, it cannot be changed. Okay, so and is exercising sovereign power. Okay, and is exercising sovereign power. Okay, and is exercising sovereign power. How do the sovereign power is exercised? Who exercises sovereign power? That is by the government. Sovereign power is exercised through the government over all the person and places falling within its territory. Right, suppose for example, whenever we talk about a territory, okay, that we'll discuss in the topic territory. Okay, so I hope you all have understood what is a state. State is a politically organized territory in which a people lives in a definite territory where government is obeyed by the people. Government is obeyed by the people. Government possesses the sovereign power, and that sovereign is utilized by the government to command obedience from the people. Right, so we the people living in this country, any country, like people of America, people of Bhutan, people of China, people of India, so we obey the laws of the country. So why do we obey it? We have to obey it because we live in that territory. Okay, we have to obey it. So what is state? State is a community of persons. So number of people, so many people, population, one community, two community, three community. Okay, so it can be numerous, it can be numerous, numbers can be unlimited, population of the country can be unlimited. Okay, but these people, they occupy a permanent territory. We live in India, we don't live in other countries, so we have occupied a permanent territory. Okay, now let us move on to discuss about the four elements. Which are the four elements? Which are the four elements? Which are the four elements of the state? Which are the four elements of the state? Okay, so you can see here, elements of state. So four elements of state. There are four elements. So what are the four elements? Without missing, if any one of the element is missing, we cannot call it as a state. To call a territory or a particular area as a state, all the four elements must be there: population, territory, government, and sovereignty. Okay, the first element of the state is population, second one is territory, third one is government, and the fourth one is sovereignty. Okay, now let us have a clear explanation about what is called population. You know, people, number of people living in a country is counted as a population. Okay, state is a community of person, that we know it. It is human political institution, that we know it. Without a population, you can see here, without a population there can be no state. It is directly written, without a definitely without a population there cannot be any state. Okay, so what type of population? Population can be more or less, isn't it? When we discuss about Gardner definition, what was written over there? Once again, you can see here, more or less. Okay, the same way it is said, population can be more or less. It doesn't mean that we need to have a great number of population, okay, like China has, right? Then there are states with very less population. You can see, like Switzerland is there, they have very less population. Canada is there. Okay, and then you can see states like China and India, they have larger population. China is number one and India comes in number two. Okay, and very soon I think we are going to cross China also. Okay, so this is what, so I'm not encouraging anyone, but still we need to understand that population is one of the most important element of the state. So there cannot be a fixed number that this much population should be there, then only we can call it a state. No, population can be less or more. Just examples are given. Switzerland has very less population, Switzerland is called a state. Canada is also there. Okay, people of state are the citizens of the state. The people of the state are the citizens. So we live in a state, that means we are the citizens of the state. Okay, so being the citizens of the state, okay, we enjoy rights and freedoms. We enjoy rights and freedoms of this country, right? We cannot enjoy the rights and freedoms of another country. We live in this country, we have been given the fundamental rights, so those rights we can enjoy being the citizen of this country, India. Okay, so you can see here, when citizens of another states are living in a territory, you can see here, when citizens of other states, so like citizens of America, Britain, when they live in our country, what do we call them? We call them aliens, because they are foreigners, they don't belong to this state. We have, that means rights are given to them, they are also given the rights, but they cannot enjoy the rights as we are given through fundamental rights. Okay, so all the persons, citizens as well as aliens, aliens means foreigners, okay, aliens who are living in a territory of a state are duty bound to obey the laws, the policies. They have to follow, whether the citizen or the alien, if they are living in this country, suppose they are living in India, they have to follow the laws and policies of the state. They have to follow the laws and policies of the state. It is mandatory, they have to follow. Okay, now, let us move down. So that is all about population. I think you understood about population. Population can be more or less. Okay. Now you can see here. Here is a picture given over here, just to make you understand. People, government, territory, isn't it? People is there. A fairly large group of people. Then government is there. Government can be of different forms. It can be a parliamentary government, it can be presidential form of government. That is different. It is not mentioned that this particular form should be there to form a government. Then territory is there, well defined, demarcated portion of the earth, isn't it? So you can see here. Okay. Then the most important thing, apart from these three, people, government, and territory, what is there? Sovereignty. What is there? Sovereignty. Sovereignty means supreme power. Now population is there, so where will the population live? They cannot live in air. Okay, so the land is required, so it doesn't mean that land comes under territory but air doesn't come under territory. No, everything, that means the forests, rivers, okay, that means within the territory of the India, everything, air or sea, all those belongs to the territory of that particular country. Okay, listen, territory is the second essential element of the state. Okay, so state cannot exist in air or sea. It is essentially a territorial state. Size of territory can be big or small. That is understood. It can be small state or a big. The territory can be big or small. Okay, like you can see, examples are given. States like Russia, in Canada, USA, India, China, Brazil, and some others are large size states. These states, if you see the map, if you see the world map, there you can easily understand which states have larger territories. So Russia is there, okay, Canada is there, USA is there, India, China, Brazil, okay. Whereas other small states are also there. Nepal is there, Bhutan is there, Sri Lanka is there, Maldives is there, Switzerland is there, Togo is there, Brunei. These are small states. Did you understand? So whole territory of state is under the sovereignty. So sovereignty, we'll discuss. At last we'll discuss about what sovereignty. This territory, entire territory is under the sovereignty of the state. Supreme power of the state. Okay. Now you can see here, this part I was discussing. So let me make it more clear. Further, it must be noted, students, you must be clear that what actually territory means. It is not that a flat piece of land where human beings make buildings and houses and there that only is called the territory. No, it includes rivers, lakes, canals, seas, okay, coastal sea, territorial, water or marine, belt, continental shelf, mountains, hills, okay. So all these things, even Andaman, Nicobar Island, all these are territories, my dear. So we won't allow any other countries to fly planes over ours, on our sky, on us. That is not permitted. That is my territory. So would you allow anybody else to dry their clothes on your terrace? No, they have to take our permission, because that territory, that space, air space also belongs to you, or the entire space within the territory of the country belongs to us. Okay, that territory belongs to us. So let me tell you, let me make it more clear. Let me make it more clear, my dear. So those states, not only the land but also the river, lakes, canals, islands, seas, everything comes under the territory. Okay, so it must be clear that not only land, within the territory of the country, forest is also there, rivers are also there, mountains are there, plateaus are there, okay, oceans are there, seas are there, everything comes under the territory of that state. Okay, and the state, that means the government has full authority over the entire territory of that state. Okay, now let us discuss about government. What is government? Government. Okay, so now next one is government. Government is the third important organ of the state. So what is government? What is government? Government is a politically organized machinery or an agency or a magistracy of the state. It is a politically organized, okay, politically organized, or we can say that it is a political organization of the state. That means the entire work of the state is looked after by the government. Who runs the state? Government runs the state. Okay, policies are framed by the government. Why? For making the administration of that state better. Did you understand? Okay, now what is government? I told you it is a political organization. Government is a political organization. Okay, so you can see here the state, this part, this sentence, the state exercises its sovereign power through its government. Okay, the entire sovereign power is exercised by the state exercises, because state has no hands or legs. The entire work of the state is done through the government. Okay, the government is the one who possesses sovereign power to exercise over the state. Did you get it clear? So it must be clearly noted that government is just one element. Government is just one element of the state. Okay, it is an agent. Government is an agent or the working agency of the state. Government is an agent of the state. Who works for the state? Government works for the state. Okay, and as you know that government again is divided into three organs. Okay, government has how many organs? Three. What are the three organs of the government? You can see here, legislature is there, executive is there, judiciary is there. Okay, legislature make laws, executive enforces the laws, and judiciary applies the law to the specific cases and settle whenever there is any dispute. Those disputes are settled by the judiciary. Okay, so that is all about government. Okay, so next one you can see here, it is mentioned, you can see this picture. So government, what are the three organs of the government? Legislature is there, executive is there, judiciary is there. These three, like the element of the state, all the four should be there. In the same way, government also must have these three organs, all the three: legislature, executive, and judiciary. These are the three most important organs of the government. If anyone asks you what are the three organs of the government, you can easily say there are three organs: legislature, executive, and judiciary. Okay, now let us now discuss about sovereignty. Sovereignty. Now, what is sovereignty? You might have heard, no, when we discuss about the preamble in the lower classes, you might have studied, we the people of India solemnly resolve to constitute India into a sovereign, socialist, secular, democratic republic. So the word sovereign is there also. What is the meaning of sovereign? What is the meaning of sovereignty? That we need to understand. Okay, the literary meaning of sovereign is supreme power. Literary meaning of sovereign is supreme power. We Indians better understand about sovereignty. Okay, let me explain you. So it is the most exclusive element of the state. Sovereignty is the most exclusive element of the state. Why so? Because without sovereignty, we cannot call any of the territory, though with the population of government, as a state. Because sovereignty must be there. Sovereignty must be there. Power to run the government independently must be there. Okay, so it stand accepted as the most essential. You can see here. Let me highlight it. It stands most essential element because state alone possesses sovereignty. Who possesses sovereignty? State. That means the state alone possesses the sovereignty. Is that clear? So now sovereignty. India is a sovereign country. What does it mean? This means, let me explain you. India is internally and externally free from foreign rule. Why to make it so complicated? What is internal external? Because India was ruled by foreigners for many years. So in 1947 India became free. In 1947 India became free. But India became sovereign in the year 1950. Okay, so what is the difference between 1947 and 50? Because still the constitution of our country was not ready. India was not at all a sovereign country. Okay, so from 1950 onward India became free, completely free from foreign control. That is why India is a sovereign country. So whichever country is sovereign, they are internally, means whatever we do, whatever policies we frame within the country can be decided by our government. They don't need to ask to America, Russia or China. We are free to decide our policies. We are free to decide to do better for our administration. Like a family members are there who forms the rules for the family. They do whatever is best for the family. They never go and ask to the neighbors, what should I do to run my family? No. The same way, sovereignty means completely free. Supreme power. If I say, for example, if I say God is supreme, what does it mean? If I use the sentence God is sovereign, that means God is supreme. Okay, so beyond and above no other power exists. Beyond and above no other God exists. That is why if I say India is a sovereign country, that means India is free. Above India there is no other country. Okay, there are two types of sovereignty. Number one is internal sovereignty, and the second one is external sovereignty. What does internal sovereignty means? Within the territory of the state, we have every right to decide what should be done. Okay, within the country, within the state, if anybody goes against the constitution, we have the right, judiciary has the right to punish them if anybody violates the law. So internally we can decide what is right, what is wrong, what policy, whatever government, how to run the administration. Okay, now external sovereignty. What does external sovereignty means? External sovereignty means what type of foreign relation should a country keep with other nations. Whatever relations should America keep with Russia, China, India, that is decided by them. Whatever relations should India keep with Bhutan, China, Nepal, what you call it, Pakistan, America, Russia, that is decided by India. India never decides by asking some other countries. Though Bhutan is a small country, even they never, we never interfere in their internal policies. We cannot interfere because Bhutan is a sovereign country. It doesn't mean India helps them, means we influence, okay, we influence their foreign policy. No, we help them. So in the same way, my dear, what type of relations should we keep with our neighbor, that is decided by you, not by your neighbor. Okay, so external sovereignty means India is externally independent. They have its and every right, they have every right to have their own foreign policy. So you can see here, it stands for the right of each state have an independent foreign policy designed to secure the goals of the interests of in relation with other states. So if I keep a relation with China, if I keep a relation with America, what benefit I am going to get, that is decided by us. Okay, so that is foreign policy. Relation with other nations, whatever relations should we keep with other countries, that comes under the foreign policy. So that comes under external sovereignty. Okay, so you can see here, in practice government of the state exercises the sovereign power on behalf of the state. So government is the one, that means possesses the sovereign power on behalf of the state, cannot do it. So on behalf of the state, who does it? Government does it. Okay, so sovereign belongs, so you can underline this one, sovereign belongs to the state. Listen to it once again, sovereign belongs to the state, but it is exercised by the government. Sovereignty, so you can see once again, let me highlight it clearly. See here, sovereignty belongs to the state, Okay, sovereignty belongs to the state. Okay, little bit. Okay, let me underline it better. Sovereignty belongs to the state, but it is exercised by the government. That means sovereignty is exercised by the government on behalf of the state. Okay, so no state can really become a state without sovereignty. So in the beginning I told you, West Bengal is a state. Yes, West Bengal is a state in geographical term, but politically West Bengal is not a state, because your West Bengal is a union. West Bengal is with the country India. Okay, India is a union of states. The sovereign power belongs to the union government. So West Bengal has the territory. West Bengal has the government. West Bengal has the that means population. But sovereignty they don't have. Internal sovereignty they have, but full sovereign which we are talking about is not there. They cannot do anything which harms the policy of the government, policy of the union government. They cannot say, West Bengal, people of Bengal, we don't want to stay with India, I want to separate myself from India. They cannot do so. That is not possible. So they have been given the right, they have been given the power to rule. They have they have less sovereign power, but the entire sovereign power is not there. Okay, that full power belongs to the country India. So India is a state, Bhutan is a state, Bangladesh is a state politically. Okay, Myanmar is a state, America is a state. All country, every country can be called as a state if they have the sovereign power. If suppose for example there is a country, small country, suppose for example long time back India was under foreign rule, so that time would you call it India as a state? No, my dear, because we had a territory. Okay, population also was there, government also was there, but that government was not our government. Okay, and the power to run the country was not in the hands of the Indians, that was in the hand of the foreigner, that is a British government. That is why India was not a state. That is why in 1950 India was declared completely as a sovereign country. Okay, so this much for today. So hope you all have understood it. In the next class we'll discuss about state and government. That means we'll try to differentiate between state and government. Okay, you can see here it is last sentence: India, China, USA, UK, France, Germany, Australia. So what is this? What are these? Such countries are states. These are states because each of these possesses all the four elements. India is a state, China is a state, USA is a state. Why? Because all these states, all these countries possesses four elements of the state: population, territory, government, and the sovereignty. You can see here, Palestine is on the way to become a state. You can see here, Palestine is not a state. Palestine is not a state. It is on the way to become a state. Okay, so now at present 194 sovereign states are currently the members of United Nations. Currently, how many sovereign states are the member of United Nations? 194. Okay, so hope you all have understood it. So the first part of this chapter, fundamental concept, that is state, what is state, definition of state, the four elements of the state, we have already done right now. Okay, so tomorrow, sorry, in the next video I'll explain you about the differences between, you can see here, differences between state and society, state and association. So first of all we'll do with the state and government. Okay, state and government, this is the topic. This one, state and government. First of all, what is the meaning? Few definitions we'll do, and then we already have understood about the state. So now we'll discuss about the government. So we'll make a differences between state and government. Okay, so hope you all have understood it. We'll meet very soon in another tutorial. Till then, take care, stay safe. Bye bye.